Did you know that in 1848, something fascinating happened? During the California gold rush, many people fell victim to the composition and division fallacies. Prospectors assumed that since gold was discovered in a particular region of California, it must mean that all parts of the region contained gold. They fell victim to the composition fallacy. Simultaneously, they believed that because a few individuals had struck it rich, all prospectors were bound to find gold as well. These people fell victim to the division fallacy. These mistaken beliefs led to thousands of people making the arduous journey to California, only to be disappointed by the lack of gold and the harsh realities of life during the gold rush. Hey rational rebels! Welcome to the arena of reason, the very place we train our minds to spot cognitive pitfalls. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, where we strive for cognitive precision and free our minds from that mental prison. Today, we're exploring the composition fallacy and the division fallacy, two related fallacies that occur when someone falsely assumes that what is true for the parts must also be true for the whole, or vice versa. We'll delve into the psychology behind these fallacies and how they can lead to misconceptions and faulty reasoning. Before we delve into this intriguing topic, remember to hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and ring the notification bell to stay updated with our mind-strengthening content. If you find our podcast valuable, consider supporting us through PayPal using the link in the description. Your support helps us continue our mission of promoting rational thinking. Also, please share this episode with someone you know who might be interested in understanding the composition fallacy and the division fallacy. Supercharge your mind, hit subscribe, don't be left behind. Let's get started. Now, let's dive deeper into the composition and division fallacies and how they can affect you in everyday life. The composition fallacy occurs and you assume that what is true for individual parts of a whole must also be true for the whole itself. On the other hand, the division fallacy happens when you assume that what is true for the whole must also be true for its individual parts. These two fallacies are opposites, but both lead to flawed reasoning and incorrect conclusions. A study published in the journal Judgment and Decision Making investigated the role of personal biases in the composition and division fallacies. The study found that individuals who had a strong prior belief or bias about a particular issue were more likely to commit these fallacies when reasoning about that issue. Another study, published in the journal Frontiers in Psychology, explored how people's cultural backgrounds might influence their susceptibility to the composition and division fallacies. The researchers found that individuals from cultures that place a greater emphasis on group harmony and collective decision-making were more likely to commit these fallacies than individuals from cultures that prioritize individualism and independent thinking. Here are some examples of the division fallacy. 1. One underperforming player on a sports team doesn't make the entire team bad. 2. One skilled employee at a struggling company doesn't guarantee that the entire company is successful. 3. One unhealthy meal doesn't ruin an otherwise healthy diet. 4. One person with limited knowledge or understanding doesn't make the entire group ignorant or uninformed. 5. One safe neighborhood doesn't mean the entire city is free of crime. And here are some examples of the composition fallacy. 1. Having a diverse group of individuals with different backgrounds and experiences doesn't automatically mean that they will all work well together. 2. The fact that a company is profitable doesn't mean that all of its products are high quality or ethical. 3. Just because a restaurant uses fresh ingredients doesn't guarantee that all of its dishes are delicious or well prepared. 4. A car that has multiple safety features doesn't necessarily mean that it is the safest car on the market. 5. The fact that a person has multiple degrees and certifications doesn't necessarily mean that they are the best candidate for a job. 6. Having multiple workout machines in a gym doesn't necessarily mean that it is the best gym for getting in shape. Now, let's explore some individual differences that might affect a person's susceptibility to the composition and division fallacies. While there isn't a specific profile of individuals more prone to falling for these fallacies, research suggests that certain factors can increase vulnerability, such as 1. Personality traits. Certain personality traits, such as impulsivity or low conscientiousness, may increase vulnerability to these fallacies by making individuals more prone to making quick judgments or relying on intuitive thinking. 2. Age. Research suggests that older individuals may be more prone to committing the composition and division fallacies, possibly due to declines in cognitive function or changes in decision-making processes. 3. Education. Higher levels of education have been associated with a lower likelihood of committing these fallacies, possibly due to increased critical thinking skills and exposure to logical reasoning. 4. Culture. Cultural differences play a role in susceptibility to the composition and division fallacies. Some cultures are at greater risk because they place a greater emphasis on holistic thinking and not analytical thinking. 5. Emotion. Emotional states, such as stress or anxiety, increase vulnerability to these fallacies by impairing cognitive processing and making individuals more likely to rely on intuitive thinking. To help you spot the composition and division fallacies, keep these tips in mind. 1. Be aware of the distinction between the whole and its parts. When evaluating a claim, consider whether it's about the entire entity or just some of its components. 2. Question assumptions. If you encounter a statement that seems to generalize based on a few examples or instances, ask yourself if there's enough evidence to support the claim. To avoid falling victim to the composition and division fallacies. 1. Develop critical thinking skills. This can help you identify when an argument is based on flawed reasoning and allow you to make more informed decisions. 2. Seek out diverse perspectives and information sources. By considering different viewpoints and gathering more data, you'll be better equipped to recognize when a claim might be based on a composition or division fallacy. 3. Take your time when making decisions. Especially when it comes to these two fallacies, rushing to conclusions can increase the likelihood of committing these fallacies, so take a step back and evaluate all available evidence before coming to a conclusion. Remember, the composition and division fallacies are opposites, but both can lead you astray when making decisions or evaluating arguments. So the next time you come across a claim that seems to generalize based on either the whole or its parts, take a step back and examine the reasoning behind it. So rational rebels, what are your thoughts on these two fallacies? Have you or someone you know experienced a similar situation? Share your perspective with the community and in the comments below. Your support is incredibly valuable to us. If you can, please consider making a donation through the PayPal link in the description. Every contribution helps us continue creating content that promotes critical thinking. Thank you for being a part of our mission. Keep your mind sharp, raise your banner with a like, enlist and subscribe to become a rational rebel alike, avoiding all the pitfalls that may come your way. This is Chris from Critical Conditioning, signing off for today.